People don't value what is always available. That's human nature. The more accessible something is, the more it is taken for granted. Think about it. When was the last time you appreciated the air you breathe? You don't, because it's always there. But the moment you struggle for air, the moment you feel like you can't breathe, you start to crave it. You would do anything for it. That's exactly how human relationships work. Now, when it comes to breakups, emotions run high. You feel rejected, abandoned, and your first instinct is to fix it. You want to reach out, talk it out, and find a way back to what was. But here's the truth. Every time you reach out, you make it easier for them to push you away. You make it easier for them to see you as an option rather than a priority. You show them that they have control, that they can choose to engage with you whenever they want, and that you will always be there waiting. That's the trap. That's what keeps people stuck in an endless cycle of chasing someone who isn't chasing them back. The moment you go silent, everything shifts. You remove yourself from the equation. You take away their safety net. They were expecting you to call, to text, to plead, to keep the door open for them. When that doesn't happen, they feel something they didn't expect, uncertainty. Uncertainty is powerful. It makes people uncomfortable. Your ex starts wondering why you aren't reaching out. Are you moving on? Are you seeing someone else? Have you forgotten about them already? This uncertainty forces them to do something they didn't plan on doing. Think about you. And thinking about you leads to missing you. Missing you leads to curiosity. Curiosity leads to them checking up on you. And that, my friend, is when the dynamic starts to shift. But this only works if you truly go silent. Not just physically, but emotionally. Because silence isn't just about not texting or calling. It's about removing your energy from them completely. It's about no longer posting things meant to get their attention. No longer asking mutual friends about them. No longer reacting when you hear something about them. True silence is about disappearing from their world in every way possible. This does two things. First, it forces them to process the breakup without you there to soften the blow. If you're always checking in, always showing them that you're still around, they never truly feel the loss. They never get the chance to miss you because you never actually left. But when you remove yourself completely, they are left with only their thoughts and emotions. They start to experience the silence, and that silence becomes loud. Second, it triggers something deep within them, the fear of loss. This fear is instinctual. It's what drives people to hold on to things they once let go of. When they assume you'll always be there, they don't have to make a decision. They can take their time, explore their options, and keep you on the back burner. But when you go silent, when you truly disappear, the possibility of losing you becomes real. That's when panic sets in. At first, they may act like they don't care. They may seem indifferent, even happy. This is normal. But as time goes on and you remain silent, their mind starts playing tricks on them. They start reminiscing, questioning, and regretting. They start remembering the good times more than the bad. Why? Because human memory is selective. The longer you're gone, the more they idealize the relationship. The pain of the breakup fades, and all they're left with is the realization that they may have made a mistake. Absence is powerful because it forces someone to confront their feelings without your influence. When you're constantly in their life, they can push those feelings aside. They can distract themselves. But when you remove yourself, when you go completely silent, they have no choice but to sit with their thoughts. They have to process the breakup on their own without your reassurance. And in that process, they start to feel the weight of their decision. This isn't about manipulation. It's not about playing games. It's about understanding human psychology. People chase what they feel they might lose. People crave what they can't have. By stepping back, by going silent, you allow the natural process of attraction and loss to take place. You allow your ex to experience life without you, and more often than not, that life doesn't feel as good as they expected. The truth is, people don't appreciate things until they're gone. They don't realize the value of someone until they're no longer an option. And the only way for them to feel that is through absence. Not arguments, not explanations, not proving your worth, just silence. Emotions are the driving force behind every action we take. They dictate our decisions, influence our behavior, and shape our interactions with others. When a breakup happens, emotions surge to the surface. Pain, anger, longing, regret, and sometimes even desperation. These emotions can feel overwhelming, and if left unchecked, they can drive you to act impulsively in ways that damage your self-respect and push your ex further away. The reason most people fail to regain power after a breakup is that they let their emotions control them. They act from a place of pain rather than strategy. They call, text, beg, or try to force conversations that only make them seem weak. But here's the truth. The one who controls their emotions controls the game. When you react emotionally, you are giving all your power to your ex. You are showing them that they have the ability to influence your mood, your mindset, and your decisions. And when someone realizes they can control you emotionally, they lose respect for you. Respect is the foundation of attraction. If your ex loses respect for you, they will never feel the desire to chase you again. This is why emotional control is everything. It is the difference between being seen as someone they lost versus someone they escaped from. Let's break this down further. After a breakup, your emotions are like a storm, chaotic, unpredictable, and destructive if left unchecked. If you let them control you, you will act in ways that reaffirm your ex's decision to leave. Every emotional outburst, every desperate attempt to reconnect, every late night message saying, "I miss you," only pushes them further away. Why? Because it signals weakness. It tells them that they made the right choice in leaving because you are not in control of yourself. And nobody is attracted to someone who lacks control over their own emotions. But when you refuse to react, when you maintain composure, something interesting happens. You shift the dynamic. Your ex expects you to be emotional, to beg, to plead, to break down. When you don't, it confuses them. It disrupts their expectations. It makes them wonder, why aren't they reacting? Why aren't they chasing me? That's when the power begins to shift. Emotional control is not about suppressing your feelings. It's about mastering them. It's about recognizing your emotions but choosing not to let them dictate your actions. This requires discipline. It requires a mindset shift where you prioritize self-respect over temporary relief. Because let's be honest, texting your ex might make you feel better in the moment, but in the long run, it only reaffirms their control over you. Think of it like a poker game. The player who remains calm, unreadable, and strategic always has the advantage. If you show your cards too early, if you reveal every emotion you feel, you give your opponent the upper hand. But if you stay composed, if you play the game with patience and confidence, you force the other player to make mistakes. This is exactly how post-breakup dynamics work. When you maintain emotional control, you put your ex in a position where they start questioning their own decisions. They start wondering if they misjudged you, if they underestimated your strength, if they truly lost something valuable. The reason this is so powerful is that people are naturally drawn to those who don't need them. When someone appears emotionally dependent, it creates pressure, and pressure pushes people away. But when you display strength and self-sufficiency, it becomes attractive. It creates a sense of mystery. It makes your ex wonder why you're okay without them. And that curiosity plants the first seed of doubt in their mind. Another key aspect of emotional control is how you respond to triggers. During a breakup, there will be moments that test you. Maybe you see your ex with someone new. Maybe they post something that seems like a direct message to you. Maybe they ignore you completely. In these moments, your emotional response will determine everything. If you react impulsively, liking their posts to get attention, sending them angry messages, or showing any sign that you are affected, you are feeding their ego. You are confirming that they still have emotional control over you. But if you don't react, if you remain silent, unfazed, and focused on your own life, that's when they start to feel the shift. That's when they begin to wonder if they made the right choice. People expect reactions. They expect drama. They expect emotions to run high. When you deny them that satisfaction, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is powerful. It forces the other person to pay attention. It makes them wonder what's going on in your mind. It makes them think about you more, not less. This is why emotional control is not just a strategy, it's a transformation. It's about shifting from a place of emotional dependence to emotional independence. It's about understanding that your worth is not determined by another person's presence in your life. When you reach this level of control, everything changes. Your ex starts to see you differently. You no longer look like someone who is struggling to cope without them. You look like someone who is thriving. And that is what makes people reconsider their decisions. That is what draws them back. Mastering your emotions is not easy, but it is necessary. It is what separates those who stay stuck in heartbreak from those who rise above it. It is what allows you to reclaim your power and position yourself as someone who is worth chasing. There is an undeniable truth about human nature. People are drawn to growth, confidence, and success. We are naturally attracted to those who exude strength, purpose, and self-sufficiency. This is why self-transformation is the most powerful way to shift the dynamic after a breakup. When you focus on improving yourself, you don't need to chase your ex. Your energy will naturally pull them back. After a breakup, many people make the mistake of trying to convince their ex to come back. They plead, they make promises, they try to remind them of the good time. But here's the problem. Words mean nothing without action. Telling your ex you've changed is meaningless unless they can see it for themselves. And the only way they will see it is if you shift your focus from them to yourself. Self-transformation is not about pretending to be better to impress your ex. It's about actually becoming better. It's about becoming the version of yourself that is so strong, so confident, and so fulfilled that your ex has no choice but to take notice. When you elevate your life, the people who once doubted you start to see you differently. Let's break this down into specific areas that create the biggest impact. 1, physical transformation. The first sign of change. Whether we like to admit it or not, attraction plays a huge role in relationships. When someone looks better, moves with confidence, and carries themselves with strength, they become more desirable. This is why focusing on your physical health and fitness is one of the fastest ways to create an immediate impact. When you go silent after a breakup and reappear looking stronger, healthier, and more confident, it shocks people. Your ex who once saw you at your lowest now sees someone completely different. They start to wonder what changed, why you seem so different, and what's fueling this transformation. That curiosity alone plants the seed of attraction. Physical transformation is about more than just appearance, it's about discipline. When you commit to a fitness routine, when you take care of your body, it reflects a level of self-respect and self-betrayal that is incredibly attractive. It shows that you are not falling apart, but rising above. 2, emotional transformation. The energy shift that pulls people in beyond the physical. The biggest transformation happens in your mindset. After a breakup, most people operate from a place of lack. They feel empty, lost, and desperate for validation. This energy is repelling. It pushes people away because no one is drawn to someone who radiates neediness. But when you shift your energy, everything changes. Instead of focusing on what you lost, you start focusing on what you're gaining. Instead of feeling like a victim, you take control of your own happiness. Instead of seeking validation, you become your own source of confidence. This shift is subtle but powerful. When your ex interacts with you, they will feel the difference. The person who once seemed desperate for their attention now seems completely at peace. The person who once craved their approval now carries themselves with certainty. And that certainty is magnetic. People don't miss someone who is begging to be noticed. They miss someone who is too busy leveling up to care. 3, social transformation, expanding your world. One of the biggest mistakes people make after a breakup is isolating themselves. They withdraw, they stay stuck in the past, and they revolve their world around what was. But the fastest way to shift your ex's perception of you is to show that your world is expanding, not shrinking. Start saying yes to new experiences. Travel to places you've never been. Meet new people. Try things that you never had the courage to do before. Build a social life that is so full and exciting that anyone looking in can see that you are not just moving on, you are thriving. When your ex sees you surrounded by new people, smiling, laughing, and living life to the fullest, it triggers something deep inside them. They start to realize that you are not waiting around. They start to question if they misjudged you. They start to feel like they are missing out on something special. Social proof is real. When other people are drawn to you, when your presence is in demand, it naturally makes you more desirable. It sends a message, you are valuable, with or without them. 4. Purpose and passion. The ultimate transformation, the deepest level of self-transformation is finding your purpose. It's about redirecting your energy into something meaningful, something that gives your life direction and fulfillment. What is something you've always wanted to do but never prioritized? A business idea, a creative project, a skill you've always wanted to master? Now is the time to go all in. When you immerse yourself in something that fuels you, it changes everything. You stop obsessing over your ex because you are too focused on your own journey. And ironically, this is when they start noticing you the most. Purpose gives you an energy that is impossible to ignore. People who are passionate about something radiate a different kind of confidence. They don't need external validation because they are already fulfilled from within. And that fulfillment makes them irresistible. The unspoken effect of self-transformation. Here's what most people don't realize. When you truly transform, you might not even want your ex back anymore because the person you are becoming is not the same person who was left behind. The more you grow, the more your standards change. The more you evolve, the more you start to see the breakup for what it really was. A push toward becoming your greatest self. And ironically, this is when your ex starts to chase. Because now they see you differently. You are no longer the person they left. You are someone stronger, wiser, and more desirable than ever before. The biggest paradox in human attraction is this. People want what they can't have. The moment someone feels like they've lost access to you, they start to desire you again. This is why the most powerful way to make your ex chase you is to genuinely move on. Not pretend, not fake it, but truly step into a new chapter of your life where they are no longer the center of your world. Now let's be real. This is not easy. When you care about someone, when you've built memories together, when you've envisioned a future with them, moving on feels impossible. Your mind keeps replaying the past, searching for ways to fix what went wrong. But here's the truth. Clinging to the past only keeps you stuck. It makes you feel powerless. And worse, it pushes your ex further away. The reason is simple. Neediness repels, confidence attracts. When someone knows you're still waiting for them, when they feel like they can come back anytime they want, they have no urgency to do so. But when they see you genuinely moving forward, when they start to feel like they are losing their place in your life, their mindset shifts. Let's break this down into 4 phases that will help you move on in a way that naturally draws them back. Phase 1, emotionally detach from the past. The first step to moving on is breaking the emotional attachment you have to the past. This doesn't mean erasing memories or pretending the relationship never happened. It means shifting your focus from what was to what is. Many people stay stuck after a breakup because they keep reliving the good moments, idealizing the relationship, and convincing themselves that it was perfect. But reality check, it ended for a reason. There were problems, there were flaws, and something wasn't working. Instead of focusing on what you miss, start focusing on what you learned. Ask yourself, what lessons did this relationship teach me? How did it reveal my strengths and weaknesses? What do I want in my next relationship that I didn't get in this one? The moment you shift from I lost something to I gained wisdom is the moment you start regaining your power. Phase 2, stop hoping for reconciliation. This is where most people struggle. Even after going silent, even after working on themselves, they still hold on to hope that their ex will come back. They check their phone every day, hoping for a text. They analyze every social media post, looking for clues. They secretly wait for a sign that their ex regrets leaving. But here's what happens when you do this. You stay emotionally trapped. You might look like you're moving on, but internally you're still stuck in limbo. And this energy is transparent. Your ex will feel it. They will sense that you are still emotionally available, and that makes them comfortable in their decision to stay away. The solution? Kill the hope. Tell yourself they are never coming back. Not as a negative thought, but as a way to free yourself. When you let go of the expectation that they will return, you open yourself up to new possibilities. You create space for better opportunities, for new relationships, for a future that isn't tied to the past. And ironically, this is when your ex starts to notice the shift, because now they feel your absence in a way they didn't before. Phase 3, build a life they can't ignore. Here's the secret to making your ex chase you. You don't do it by trying to impress them. You do it by becoming so focused on your own growth that they can't help but notice. Start building a life that excites you. Try new hobbies you've always wanted to explore. Surround yourself with new, interesting people. Travel to new places and expand your experiences. Focus on your career, your passions, and your personal goals. When your ex sees that you are thriving, when they realize that life didn't stop without them, something shifts in their mind. They start wondering, did I make a mistake? Why? Because people assume that when they leave, you will fall apart. They expect you to be miserable, to struggle, to wait around for them. But when you prove them wrong, when you show them that you are better than ever, their perception of you completely changes. They don't see you as the person they left behind. They see you as someone new, someone stronger, someone they might not be able to get back. And that fear of loss is what triggers their desire to chase. Phase 4, open yourself to new connections. The final step in moving on is the most powerful one. Start dating again. Now, this doesn't mean you have to jump into a new relationship right away. It simply means you should open yourself up to new people, new experiences, and new possibilities. Go on dates, meet new people, and remind yourself that there is an entire world beyond your ex. Nothing triggers an ex more than seeing you with someone else. Not in a petty, revengeful way, but in a natural, effortless way. When they realize they are no longer your priority, when they see you giving attention to someone new, it forces them to reevaluate everything. They start comparing themselves to your new potential partner. They start wondering if you've moved on completely. They start realizing they are not as special as they once thought. This is how human psychology works. The moment they feel like they are losing you to someone else, their mind switches from, do I want them, to, I don't want to lose them to someone else. The ultimate power move. When you reach this stage, something incredible happens. You no longer care if your ex comes back. You become so happy, so fulfilled, and so focused on your own journey that their presence or absence no longer affects you. And this is what makes them chase. Because people always want what they can't have. And the moment they realize you are no longer theirs, the moment they see you slipping away, their desire to have you again intensifies.